Welcome to another edition of the Hoop Scoop. I'm Jared Johnson, and Texas Tech made history in Lawrence, Kansas today as the Red Raiders defeated the Jayhawks 78-73, and it was a game that they led most of. Kansas made a big run in the second half, but Texas Tech won for just the second time in program history in Lawrence, Kansas. First time was 2018. Red Raiders are now 2-22 at the Fog there in Lawrence. And, Tech looked like the better team. Don't get me wrong. Kansas, like, if you had told me that the Jayhawks would dominate the paint like they did, I want to make sure I get this right. I know they out-rebounded Texas Tech by 10, and they were plus 24 in terms of points in the paint. But Texas Tech made 15 of a season-high 43 three-point attempts. A lot of those came in the first half. The Tech was really hot, and they were good shots. I mean, I know a lot of people, and it's common to say, why are they shooting so many threes? But a lot of those threes, not all of them, but a lot of them came out of the offense and were good shots. Even in the second half when they went cold, they were missing some open three-point, for the most part, shot attempts. JT Toppin was sensational, especially in the first half. I finished with, I think, 21 points. Yep, 21 points, five rebounds. He did foul out, and he was plagued by foul trouble in the second half, which did hurt. But other guys stepped up. And I think Christian Anderson, I know he scored more points than what he did today in Lawrence, but this was his all-around best game. Defensively, the tap out he had for a Elijah Hawkins fast break uncontested layup was great. He made 5 of Tech's 15 made threes. I think he was 5 for 10 in terms of from deep. He finished with 15 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 0 turnovers in 32 minutes as a true freshman, obviously playing his first time at Allen Fieldhouse there in Kansas. And but he looked like one of the best players on the court. He was just terrific. Kansas was able to exploit probably Tech's biggest weaknesses in that interior defense, but Tech battled enough, and the three-pointers and the overall efficient play by the Red Raiders was more than enough to overcome that. Tech led by as many as 14 in this game. Kansas, of course, made their run, but in the end, Texas Tech, though they did have a turnover late, made enough plays to win the game and play good enough defense. I mean, 78-73, that's a pretty good score on both ends. Offensively, it's good output in Lawrence, and then also holding Kansas to 7-3 is pretty good, considering all those things like the dominance in the paint, the rebounding advantage that Kansas had, which kind of surprises me, given the two teams coming into this game. That being said, getting Chance, McMillan, and Darian Williams back obviously was huge. Darian Williams had a great game, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and just 1 turnover in 33 minutes. Chance was pretty good. He didn't shoot a lot, and he didn't shoot great from deep. He was just 1 for 7, and he had 9 field goal attempts. But 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, and just, his ability to space the floor was huge as well. Kerwin Walton knocked down a couple of threes, did his job. But JT Toppin was fantastic in the first half. Kansas really didn't have an answer for Texas Tech's offense when they were knocking down those threes. Either JT was doing his thing around the paint, or he was kicking it out when Kansas doubled. Did a good job of doubling, but they didn't really recover, and they'd always leave somebody open, and Tech really took advantage of that, especially in the first half. Second half, the shots just weren't falling. But, again, I thought Elijah Hawkins made a couple of threes, really clutch threes. Kansas had taken like a 1-point lead, and it was back and forth in terms of the lead there for a minute or two, and Hawkins made back-to-back threes. So that was huge. So, overall, this is a huge win for Texas Tech. It's historic, and that it's just the second time in 24 games there at Allen Fieldhouse that Texas Tech has won. So it's a big deal, and this team just continues to impress. 2 more regular season games left to go, and then the Big 12 tournament. And then, of course, March Madness, which I can't wait for. But for now, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.